Happy Sunday to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Taking a live look outside right now over the Eisenhower Johnson tunnels. Looking like traffic is moving good here. And hey, some of the ski resorts are calling it a season after today. We'll have more about that coming up at 8:30. But again, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Lauren Scafidi. Let's send things on over to Weather Impact Team meteorologist Carly Cassidy. Carly, it's hard to believe that time of the year is already here.
It is. Yep. We're wrapping things up, switching things up again season-wise as far as our weather goes, starting today and all the way into our upcoming week. We are warming things up and drying things out. Beautiful shot here this morning. Blue skies. You see some of that high cirrus cloud cover. We are going to see some more of those clouds fill in as we go into the afternoon, evening, but still some peaks of sun and blue skies and much different view compared to the last couple of days. It's still cold out there. One last cold morning here before we warm things up. Low to mid 30s for a good portion and still have some teens, some 20s out there. So grab a warm coat as you are headed out. And I still would keep a warm layer around just because with that cloud cover coming can be thick in some areas and really limit some of that sunshine. Otherwise, upper 50s, low 60s, much more seasonal today, and then 30s, 40s in the high country. And of course, we've been talking all about the forecast for the Rockies this weekend. First pitch today, 1:10 this afternoon. We got 56 degrees, 58 for our high, and there, it's just the cloud cover that's going to increase as we go into the afternoon, evening. 10% chance for a shower today. Really don't think we're going to see much of it, and then we're really drying things out, so we'll talk all about those details in your full forecast.
Carly, thank you so much. This morning, police are still looking for a suspect in Fort Collins after a shooting on a sidewalk outside of the Foothills Mall yesterday. This happened just after 5:30 yesterday evening. Police say 2 people were shot and both of them went to the hospital. We're working to find out how they're doing this morning. Some people sheltered inside the mall when it happened. Police closed off the building while they made sure that area was secure. They escorted people out once everything was clear. Police don't have anyone in custody right now, but they say they do have leads on a possible suspect.
We think the suspect is still here in this area around the Foothills Mall. So there's not a public safety risk to the greater Fort Collins community, but we are asking people to please avoid this area until we do have that secured.
Fort Collins police are still trying to gather more information on this shooting this morning. If you know anything that could help with their investigation, give them a call. The trial for the man accused of shooting and killing 2 people in a dorm room at the University of Colorado Springs last February is set to start tomorrow. Police say Nicholas Jordan killed his roommate, Samuel Knopp, and a woman, Celie Rain Montgomery, on February 6, 2024. An arrest affidavit says that Jordan threatened to kill Knopp earlier in the year after Knopp left a bag of trash near Jordan's door. The 2 also argued over Jordan smoking marijuana in the dorm. The trial is scheduled to start at 9 tomorrow morning in El Paso County. Protesters gathered in Colorado and across the country yesterday to push back against the Trump administration's agenda. They called them the hands-off protests. Democratic activists organized these protests to push back on mass layoffs of federal workers, deportations, and cuts to things like federal funding, DEI initiatives, and protections for transgender people. There were more than 1,400 protests scheduled across the country, several of them here in Colorado. The biggest was right outside of the state capitol in Denver. We asked people what drew them out to join the crowds.
Hoping that it shows that we are united, that we can put up a good fight for this, and that we can't be disregarded. You know, our opinions, our feelings, our anger, things we feel that it won't be just lost.
In a statement released ahead of that event, organizers accused President Trump and Elon Musk of believing, quote, "This country belongs to them." This morning, we're learning the Department of Government Efficiency has a new target for layoffs. CNN reports workers at the Department of Homeland Security are bracing for significant layoffs. That could include job cuts at the U.S. Secret Service. The news outlet also reports FEMA and Customs and Border Protection could also see some cuts. A senior official at the Homeland Security Department says the department is determined to eliminate government waste that has been happening for decades. The official says the department is expected to get rid of jobs that undermine its ability to, quote, secure the homeland. The new wave of cuts does not stop there, though. The Trump administration announced it's shutting down the Civil Rights Office at the IRS. According to an internal email, 3/4 of the positions at that office will be eliminated. Another 5% of employees quit after accepting the federal deferred resignation offer. The workers that will still be there will then move to another division within the agency. The IRS has already fired thousands of workers and auditors and is closing more than 110 taxpayer assistance offices across the country. The Department of Veterans Affairs is the latest federal agency to give employees the option to resign. In an email to employees, Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins said the ultimate goal is to cut down the agency's workforce by 15%. Last month, he said the department is looking to lay off roughly 80,000 employees. According to the email, employees who accept the resignation offer will be paid through the end of September. Employees can opt in starting tomorrow. They have until April 30th to decide. An original deferred resignation offer was made to about 2 million employees across the federal government in late January. About 75,000 workers signed up for it. A new report published this week shows layoffs reached their third highest level ever last month. The biggest group was federal workers. That report found more than 275,000 layoffs were announced in March. That's a 60% jump from February and the highest level since the COVID-19 pandemic. The Department of Government Efficiency still says that they plan to axe more than 216,000 federal jobs. Other industries that took a big hit from cuts were technology and retail. Last week, a jury in Boulder County convicted the driver who killed 17-year-old cycler Magnus White. White was training with Team USA at the time of his death in 2023. His parents and cycling safety advocates say the fight is not over. On Friday, a jury convicted Yeva Smiljanska of felony vehicular homicide. White's parents say the verdict does bring accountability, but not closure. They've spent the past 2 years working alongside cycling advocates, turning their grief into action. Peter Piccolo, the executive director of Bicycle Colorado, met the family after Magnus's death and says they have since become a very powerful voice for change.
They're already making a positive impact and doing their very best to ensure that this tragedy will bring some good in the world.
The driver is scheduled to be sentenced in June and faces a sentence of 2 to 6 years. Advocacy groups like Bicycle Colorado are now working on legislation to better hold drivers accountable who hit and kill cyclists and pedestrians. 8:07 and this morning, NBC News is reporting another child with measles in Texas has died. However, the exact cause of that death is under investigation right now. An HHS spokesperson who spoke with NBC News says Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is expected to go to the child's funeral today. This would be the second pediatric death in that state since the outbreak started in January. Now, we don't know if that child was vaccinated or not, but we do know the first child who died from the disease was not and had no known underlying health conditions. The latest numbers released by Texas's health department on Friday show 481 measles cases there. Most of them are minors. 337 cases were kids under the age of 18. And get this, 157 of those cases were under 5 years old. 56 patients have been hospitalized of that group.